On Sunday, the 1st of May 1955, a silver Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR entered the Mille Miglia, a 1,000-mile road race from Brescia to Rome and back. Behind the wheel, English driver Stirling Moss. Beside him, his navigator, Dennis Jenkinson, a fearless duo who regularly reached speeds of over 170 miles per hour along the public road route.
Driving a 3-litre Mercedes from Brescia, down the coast, across to Rome and north again, he went like the wind all the way.
They were so fast that even the planes filming from above couldn't keep up. Just 10 hours, 7 minutes and 48 seconds later, they were back in Brescia, roaring across the finishing line.
He finished over half an hour ahead of world champion Fangio. The first Briton to win this race, Moss had scored a supreme triumph.
This record-breaking time has never been beaten, and Stirling remains the only British driver to ever win this iconic race.
I think my best race certainly was the Mille Miglia. I mean, the only guarantee we had was the finest car ever built. I mean, the 300 SLR is probably the greatest sports car ever built by anybody, any time. To drive a Mercedes was fantastic.
But now, the time has come for a well-earned rest and pride of place back in the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart, Germany. That is, after one last blast. Somewhere it's never driven before. Somewhere that's never echoed to the sound of its thunderous 3-litre straight-8 engine. Somewhere Sir Stirling loved and where he lived for more than 60 years. It was here, in London, where Stirling Moss's 1955 Mille Miglia journey actually began, when he set off for Italy at the wheel of another Mercedes-Benz, the beautiful 300 SL Coupe. The Gullwing. His Gullwing. That Gullwing. And of course, there can be only one place and time where this journey finishes. At the Moss family home, and at the time the SLR started its record run in 1955. The time that gave the car its famous race number. 7:22 in the morning. 7:22.
I race because I love racing. As a sport, it was something very special. I can't think of any life that's better than being a professional racing driver. And the original 300 SLR was probably the finest sports car ever built. Quite incredible. I mean, it really was a most wonderful machine to drive.
.722 is over in England since June for the memorial of Sir Stirling Moss. And today we tried to fire up the engine, did some laps here to check if everything works, and we're happy so far.
We're at the Royal Naval College in Greenwich because basically it's like a sort of stunt double for the centre of London. It's where people like Bond and such like come and film, so that they've got somewhere that looks like Whitehall but is all closed roads. This is where the camera guys have the time to sort of indulge themselves a little bit and get all those details.
The car looks great from every angle, and we're really looking forward to someday where we're going to be actually taking this out on the streets of London, the 722, Stirling Moss's car, back to his house. It's going to be something really special.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime event today to get 722, the car that Stirling Moss made so famous on the 1st of May 1955, back home here in London, where Sir Stirling spent pretty much his entire adult life. It's truly magical. We've had a helicopter up in the sky, we've had people along the entire route through Westminster, and then coming back to Mayfair here. The car was filmed car to car with a tracking vehicle, and cameras inside the car as well, just to capture everything once. We had one chance to do this.
Stirling Moss winning the Mille Miglia in 1955 in that car is one of the great feats in the history of motor racing. It was that car which kind of put Stirling Moss on the map. They used to call him the Boy Wonder, and he kind of became Mr. Motor Racing after that. The car stays being driven by Gert Straub. Nobody knows those cars better than Gert. They're kind of his family. He is, I think, the 4th generation of his family to work at Mercedes-Benz. The 5th and the 6th are already there. He's retiring today, so this is kind of like the last thing he's going to do. What a way to sign off a career. There really couldn't be anybody better or more appropriate to be driving that car today.
At the beginning I was a little bit nervous because there's always a pressure on the driver, but now after we are finished, it's a fantastic feeling. It's a race car designed to be on a racetrack full speed and not designed for stop and go traffic in town. But the police did a perfect job. They guided me through town and it was comfortable for me. Going over the bridges was a special moment, seeing Big Ben left to me, but I was always fully concentrated on the car.
Lady Moss has been tremendously welcoming here at her home in Shepherd Street, and also their son Elliot, who we'll see in the film as well. Without their support and active engagement, none of this would have been possible.
Throughout my entire life, that race, this car, of all the cars he drove, and there are a lot, and this just meant more than anything else. I mean, it's literally etched onto the building on his balconies. My personal memory of it is from 2015, which was the 60th anniversary in Braysher, and I think the last time I ever did a public thing with him. And that was the first time I ever sat in the driver's seat and had an idea of how difficult it would have actually been.
There's something for everyone in this film, whether you're a lifelong fan like me or you're new to the story of the Mille Miglia and Sir Stirling Moss. And we hope that people will spot some of the things that have happened deliberately and some of them by happy accident throughout the film. And I think it's only fitting that 722 moves to a new phase of its life, and we'll be taking her back to the museum in Stuttgart, where millions of people a year will get to see her up close and in person. And of course, for all of the rest of us, there's always this fabulous film.